This is going to be controversial. People might hate this, but I think AI is going to create a new aristocracy of high agency people. You see, there's always been different castes or types of humans within society. There's been high agency people who take action and express their will to power into life, and there's been low agency people who kind of sit back and just take whatever comes their way. And I think AI is going to exacerbate these differences within people. We are entering an era of extremes. On one end, we see a rising class of creators using AI to multiply their power. On the other side, a docile, more consumerist class is emerging, what Nietzsche called the last men. And unfortunately, this type is all too common. Go to work, come home, relax. They have zero agency or vision and aspiration to go beyond themselves. And hence, they are calling for more comfort, more ease for UBI, and the new tech overlords are going to give it to them. This is why the world is going to stratify into tech overlords, a consumerist class of, low-income people, and then perhaps a new creator aristocracy going their own way. And I already see this emerging in the circles I run in online and in real life. There seems to be a new culture diverging from the norm, and I think it has a lot of potential, although it's embryonic right now. As someone who works with AI intimately for my business and for YouTube, it's already eliminated 75% of my bitch work, all my busy work, in terms of the drafting, the outlining, organizing big ideas, giving you feedback. It's accelerating my learning process 1,000-fold, which I'll talk about near the end of this video. And the crazy thing is, it's only getting better and faster and better. And with the advent of robotics and all these new AIs coming out every single day and large language models and you name it, the world's going to be a very different place within 20 years, within 100 years. Like, in our lifetime, the world is going to change more than perhaps in all of human history combined. And yes, we could doom. AI is scary. Will it replace and subvert my will to power? Will it replace our creativity and make, creators like this obsolete? I really don't think so. Because I've seen in my life that the more I become unique and individuated, and the more I value human excellence, self-mastery, connection, authenticity, leadership, things that AI can't simulate, the further I get along my path, the more ways I can actually employ the tools given to me, the more ways I can employ AI, and the less I can be copied. And this actually brings a new emphasis on individuation. By focusing on the things that make you unique as a person and growing into your own leadership and bringing forth your own essence, in that way, a new aristocracy of sorts comes about. And I define this aristocracy as those who are high agency, those who create more than they consume, those who seek self-mastery over mediocrity. These types of people are automatically and naturally attracted to each other, and they use the tools given to them to express their will to power into the world, to naturally create more freedom, more abundance, and more connection. And this advent of the internet and AI and all this new changing things, like those who can actually ride the tiger and surf the wave of modernity, a whole new paradigm will be open to you. I don't quite know how. Yes, AI, all this shit can be scary when you can get all these like doomer projections into the future. But nonetheless, I do know in my own life, if I continue to pursue individuation and excellence, opportunities come my way, and things that are dangerous and crippling to people who aren't moving forward, who aren't becoming stronger, become actual opportunities and leverage points for those who are. So going back to those values I stated before, prioritizing good original ideas, individuation, human excellence, and leadership. By getting good at those things, AI replaces all your busy work. All of a sudden, you can become more of a pure creator and more of a pure leader. But if you get good at busy work, aka school and Excel spreadsheets and dead-end, corporate jobs, AI will replace you. And this is why it's terrifying for people who are on their heels, who are relying on the securities of their career or the security of, some kind of mediocre bureaucratic position, they will be replaced. And this is why a lot of schools are scared of and failing to implement AI into their education and curriculum, because they don't understand that we need to create students who are high agency individuals, not students who are corporate cogs. Now, I want to get into 3 points that kind of support this claim. Number one is I have zero coding experience, but last week, using new tools like Bolt.ai and Manus, I created an entirely new web application, a database that updated and progressed and tracked member ranks through my community, and it created a whole new website for me automatically. And this would have probably taken a professional programmer hours, if not days, to create previously, and it took me seconds. Now, granted, if you are an expert programmer, it's a different story, because you could go in there and actually write beautiful code and update it and actually turn it into something that's tangible, working, and able to scale. Now, what I'm saying here is that if you are becoming an expert in any craft, whether that's coding or writing, like AI can't replace you, but it can become a tool that removes 90% of the initial labor or the initial work, and you are back in your more creative expertise phase. But if you are only aiming at mediocrity, if you're only mediocre at your craft, AI is just as good, if not better than you. And this is the scary part for a lot of people, is if they're not pursuing excellence in any way, they're easily replaceable. The second example of this is in physical jobs. When I check out at the grocery store, I never get in the line to go to a real cashier. I always do the express checkout that's with a machine, and most people do this too. We're already implementing robotics to replace humans in 1,000 different ways, and robotics are advancing at a breathtaking speed right now. But the interesting thing is when I go to my favorite restaurant and my guy is working, he greets me with the biggest smile. He knows me. It's actually a very pleasant exchange, way more pleasant than the cashier at a grocery store. And this is why I think like bartenders and really great servers, if someone is actually excellent at what they do, the value of them is only going to go up. While the factory worker or the shelf stacker or the cashier or the people who are filling out Excel spreadsheets and working bullshit corporate jobs, like all of that is going to go away. And what are these people going to do? Well, they're going to do what they actually want to do anyway, which is consume. And so this new class of there's going to be consumers and then there's going to be creators. And the crazy thing is this choice, this decision point is already made for most people. It's just a matter of like, where's their agency level in life? And I don't mean to be judgmental or mean at all in this video. I'm just encouraging you to see this perspective that seems quite true for me. The final example I want to give you is writing. I published a book, The Psychology of Slaying Dragons, and it took me 2 years to write. 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears, of waking up to write for 3 hours every morning. It was a hellish experience. And guess what? No one gave me feedback until my girlfriend and my dad read it after 1.5 years of work. And then I had to pay $20,000, like upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 to get an editor to proofread it, to edit, to do big adjustments with me. Nowadays, I get 100 points of high IQ feedback from AI on every single essay I write. In real time, it's letting me know about my hooks and intros and structuring and the outline of what I'm writing. And because of that, I save hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours of time every single year. And the speed at which I progress towards mastery has increased. Here's the crazy thing is mastery, like getting really good at your craft, isn't just a product of hard work and struggling, like having no feedback writing a book. I bet I actually wasted a lot of time. Mastery comes from working at your edge and getting quality feedback. This is why people can drive a car for 30,000 hours and they never become a master at it, even if they have to drive through really shitty conditions. And that's because they don't have a coach sitting next to them like a race car driver. Mastery is a product of quality of effort plus quality or times quality of feedback. And with AI, if you employ it correctly, you can get feedback on everything. Now, I don't take all the feedback that AI always gives me. I like to use my own creativity, and I've actually built this skill, so I know my own voice and I know what I'm trying to create. So AI just amplifies me. And that's the difference between like high agency and low agency. Again, a low agency person is going to utilize AI as the generative force, and then they're barely going to add any excellence on top of that. Where for high agency people, AI is actually the amplification force rather than the generative force, if that makes sense. So I'm sure there's 100 other examples of how AI is changing the world, and we could argue all day about what the future will look like. But ultimately, a great divide is coming. If you look at these insane technological advances, also the social pressures and the economic pressures, it's obvious that we live in the most explosive era in human history. You see that the paradigm is about to shift. Something radically new is coming. And this is why I encourage all the high agency people out there is to focus on the things that are uniquely human, uniquely you, and cultivate those skills and those excellences, and then find the others. Utilize something like YouTube, the internet, my men's community to connect with other high agency people, and let's build new towns. Let's build new types of communities and brotherhoods so that we aren't just in this tech overlord, consumerist, dystopic culture, but we have the opportunity to build something new. And that's what this video right here is all about. See you over there. Links below if you want to talk to me one-on-one and join us. Peace.